Becky, maybe Caroline. I'm not sure. We might have to ring her, get her on the phone, possibly. But Becky's here now. Let's give her a nice big round of applause. Hello, Becky. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
It's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yeah, last time talking about rounders, but today talking netball.
Yes, very sporty. I mean, this seems to be your life, going around in your camper van and then occasionally playing sport. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I'm not driving the van or doing something with the dogs. It's playing a bit of sport. So rounders once a month, last Saturday of the month if the weather's good, and every Thursday playing netball.
Right. Now, this is very interesting this morning because last time you were here, I think it was around the time when I came along to the rounders match that you had at the rugby pitch, which I really enjoyed. And I did get a little bit of heckling, which made me embrace my health and fitness. It was Colin Ross Jones who was on the show yesterday who shouted out, "Get a sports bra," as I was making a home run. Now I was hoping for that we wouldn't have that sort of bullying banter going on, but it happened. It happened on the rounders pitch, and it set me on a new path. Quite frankly, I had a great time. And I think you raised quite a nice lot of money for the Bomberos you're raising.
Sorry, Carl. Typically, the doorbell's just rung. So the dogs have just
problem. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't you worry about it. Do you need to go and sign for something?
No, I think I just need to go and put the dogs outside.
Don't you worry. I love it. This is what happens when you get invited into people's homes, of course. But you're going to get served a full English in a minute. I know that.
I can't hear a word. You have to excuse me just a second.
Okay. Becky's going to go sort that out, and then we'll come back to her. We'll say a few hellos. Sarah's here. Bon dia, Sarah Yeoman from Antonio. Oh, and more dad jokes coming in. Why have elephants got big ears? Let's give her a nice big round of applause. She's back on the screen now. Hey, hello. How are you this morning?
Oh, you can't help live radio, can you?
It's fantastic. Oh, you are a live radio veteran, are you not? You did a little bit of live radio back in the day, didn't you?
Back in the day, yeah, it was a long time ago now. So hung up my microphone and my headphones probably about 15 years ago.
Did you really? Superb. Well, how did it go? Before we move on to netball, tell us about the rounders match. Was that a successful do?
Oh, it was amazing. Caldish Rugby Club did us an absolute turn. It was a great location. We had a really good turnout. I think there was somewhere between 60 and 70 people, from all nationalities, and we raised just over €700 and a whole stack of water, burn cream and snacks that were then delivered to the Bomberos at Caldish and Obidos later that afternoon. So it was a really, really good day. Really
great job. Excellent stuff. All right. And I think we're struggling to get Caroline to join us. The link's not working for her. But how does Caroline fit into this? And tell us a little bit more about netball then, if you will.
Sure. So Caroline is our head of umpiring and coaching at the Silver Coast Sirens. So later this month, we celebrate our 6th birthday. A lady called Suzanne Spivey set us up 6 years ago, and we've been playing every Thursday afternoon since then. Many of us haven't played netball since school. If you've not heard of netball before, it's a non-contact ball sport played by two teams on a court. It's something that's very common in Commonwealth countries. It's a massive sport in Australia, and there's a few European countries that play it. And typically it's something that's played at school in the UK. And many ladies go on and play as adults. Personally, I hadn't played for 30 years until I found the Sirens 2 years ago. But then you have such diversity in the Sirens team. So Caroline, for example, she played after school, took qualifications in coaching and umpiring, and played league netball when she was an adult. So we're lucky to have such experience on our team, and lots of the ladies on the Sirens team have similar levels of experience as well of playing, coaching and umpiring.
Superb. And here she is now. Your dogs have been... Let's give her a round of applause and bring her onto the screen. Hey, Caroline. Good morning to you. Well done. Good job. You joined us in the end. That's fantastic.
My technical knowledge and know-how is useless.
Well, you got there in the end. Now, I'm sure Becky won't mind. I'm just going to mute her microphone for just a moment. And whilst we talk to you for a little while, and her dogs have been nominated for Dogs of the Week here. So we need to know their names in just a moment. They have distinguished themselves this morning by joining in on the show. Your home, on the other hand, sounds relatively peaceful, Caroline. Are there no dogs there?
No dogs, but 4 cats. So there may be some cat fights in the background.
We could have
at
we could have a different kind of fun with 4 cats joining us, showing off their tea-towel holders as they like to do on these sorts of calls as well. So let's see if how Becky's doing. What are your dogs' names, Becky? Before we move on from the dogs, they are Dogs of the Week.
Thank you. So they're both rescue dogs. Luna is the one that's old enough to know better, and Holly is the newest recruit. So Luna's from Crapper in Cowdish, and Holly is from Reggio Leonardo, the other shelter in Cowdish, just outside Cowdish. So
Okay. Holly and Luna, good morning to you. You are officially Dogs of the Week here on the Good Morning Portugal show, with a new feature launched in the moment on the hoof, and suggested by a listener, Paul Rees, this morning. So, Caroline, we've heard a little bit about you. Your reputation precedes you as a netball coach. It's a surprise to me that netball isn't very well known. I mean, Portugal is sports mad, and you imagine, don't you, they know about every conceivable and possible sport here in Portugal, but not so much with netball. Is that right?
Yes, it is. I think if netball is taught in schools, then obviously it tends to take you through into later life as well. So you're familiar right from the start. Portugal doesn't play netball, and it's something that we're hoping to establish, but it tends to be the Commonwealth countries that are really keen netball players. And in fact, Australia at the moment is the world champion, with New Zealand and England following closely behind. So
a bit of a British export then. So how's it going? How is the impact being made and felt here in Portugal? And you're leading the way, obviously, with that the ambassadorial work.
Yes, we're trying. There are more teams down in the Algarve because I think the concentration of expats and therefore ex-netball players who are familiar with netball. So they have, I think, something like 6 or 7 teams. We're trying to get one established in Lisbon at the moment, and obviously we have 2 teams here. But it's mainly being played amongst the expats because we're familiar with it.
Yeah. Okay. And to get involved in, I mean, that's what this is all about, isn't it? Presumably, is to get a few people switched on to the idea and to come along and have a go. What sort of levels of fitness are required? It sounds to me like it's quite intense, and you have to be a bit of an athlete. Is that true?
Not really. I think we obviously, if you've watched the internationals and the Super League, then it's quite frightening. But it's
like a lot of sports, right? Played at that level. Yeah.
It's at our level, it's much slower. Although I have to say that increasingly with our new members, our level is improving tremendously. But it's you play at your own pace. And one of the things I make sure as an umpire, and as all umpires, we're very conscious of safety, and therefore the rules around netball are designed to keep ladies safe, and umpires have a certain discretion to umpire a game to a certain level. And if that level is not professional level, then it will be brought down to the level that's there. And I think it's all about getting ladies enthusiastic and into the game and getting a netball head on, because it's quite a structured game.
Yeah, interesting. And you mentioned ladies there. Is it going to remain a ladies' sport? This is not a mixed team sport. Although you seem to have made an exception for me, and you've invited me along to the training session. So what's the situation with that? Is it going to be mixed, or is this one for the ladies, as it were?
It's predominantly ladies that play it, and again, this is mainly for safety reasons. In Australia, they do actually have mixed teams, but we're not aiming to have mixed teams here because it would just be too dangerous, I think,
Okay,
to have men playing alongside women, because they're much stronger, and if and certainly at our level where we're older, if we get knocked across the court, our sense of balance is not what it used to be.
No, fair enough. There's a time and a place, isn't there, for mixed sports? So Rounders was great because it was mixed and it was all ages. But there are times when you want to be in a single gender activity as well. So fair enough. And thank you for making an exception for me on this occasion and inviting me. I feel quite honoured. It was a bit like the time when I had to go and judge the cakes at the Women's Institute. I felt it was one of those kinds of honours, I think. Becky, I think you want to add something there.
There will be cake involved, Carl.
It just gets better. Okay, fantastic.
I'm going to have to earn it, I'm afraid. So it is our 6th birthday at the end of this month, but because our founder, Suzanne, is away on her holidays this month, we're moving our birthday celebrations to the end of March. So we practice every Thursday afternoon at our court near Obidosh, at the association in Capolera, and we are fortunate enough to have a little bar, cafe bar just outside. So
I know it. What a great venue.
Yeah, so we tend to stay on for drinks and just chat netters after a game on Thursday. So we'd like to invite you along to our birthday Thursday afternoon practice and invite you to actually take part in the training. We'll do a warm-up, we'll do some drills, and the ladies will take you under their wing and teach you some positions.
Oh, wow.
And join us for some birthday cake afterwards as well.
An offer I cannot refuse from the women's netball mafia.
An offer you cannot refuse, I think.
That's an offer I can't refuse. I beg your pardon. Did I say an offer? A Freudian slip. I was getting a little bit concerned and worried there. What should I wear? Not my heels, I'm guessing, on this occasion.
Definitely not. So just normal sportswear. So a good pair of trainers and whatever you would normally wear to the gym.
I'll have to dust down my green flash then for this. Okay, fair enough.
Hopefully by the end of March, we'll be in our new kit, which is one of the exciting pieces of news that we've got this year in the Sirens. We're playing in 2 tournaments later on in the year, and we've recently taken some sponsors on board so that we can start subsidising our own new kit. So hopefully by the end of March, we'll all be kitted out in our Silver Coast Sirens.
Check you out. This is fantastic. Featuring this logo, of course.
Yes.
There. That is a great logo, isn't it? With the siren on there. Brilliant stuff. I'd love to talk to you more. We have other guests joining us, Gabby and Bianca, in just a moment. But all the best with that. Happy birthday. And may you attract many more people who can come along. Women can get in touch with you. What's the best way to do that and get involved with the Sirens?
Either via our Facebook page, so just Google Silver Coast Netball, or you can find us online. We've got a very comprehensive website, lots of pictures, lots of info about netball and how to get in touch with us. It's www.silvercoastnetball.com.
Fantastic. Silvercoastnetball.com. We'll have another conversation in the future to see how much resemblance it bears to the sport volleyball, which is played more here and on the beaches, of course. But that'll have to be a conversation for another time. Becky, Caroline, Holly and Luna, is that right? Thank you all this morning for being on the Good Morning Portugal show, Dogs of the Week. Bon fin de semana, feliz sexta-feira. Thank you for being here. Cheers. All right, ciao, ciao. There they go. That's Becky and Caroline. Super.